Ladies, there is such power in our words spoken to our men. And let me just use myself as an example here, because I can give you a case study in this. An example of when I did it very right and an example of me doing it very wrong, all within like the same week. So not very long ago, just within the last week, I had a moment where I was having a bad day. Ever had a bad day? And when I get a little bit frustrated because my day's not going well, I can tend to maybe be a little sharper than I had intended to be with my husband if he passes by. Does this sound familiar to anybody else where, you're kind of grouchy, he walks by, he's sort of in the line of fire of your mouth and you're extra sharp with him or kind of bite his head off, and much to my surprise, instead of comforting me because of my horrible bad day, he actually seemed to withdraw emotionally, and then he kind of retreated. Well, he didn't just kind of retreat, he left the room, just disappeared. And I'm like, what is his problem? Doesn't he know that I'm the one having a bad day? Then let me fast forward to an example from just a few days ago. I decided to purposely take notice of the good qualities of my husband, to intentionally look for what he was doing right and to call it out, to actually tell him the good that I see in him. So he was actually helping my son and daughter-in-law move, and he was very cheerful about it, even though it was backbreaking work and it was a lot of hours, but he was cheerful about it. He was cooperative, even though he normally likes to be in control. He was letting others be in control, and he was just a really helpful, gracious servant. And I thought, I need to call this out and tell him how proud I am of him. And so I did, not with elaborate long, words and speech. I just kind of said, you know what? I'm really proud of you. You were just such an awesome helper today, and you had such a good spirit about it. I'm really proud of you. And immediately my husband's countenance changed. It was like he stood up taller, and you could just tell that he felt so much better about himself because I noticed the good in him and I called it out. I respected him in that way by encouraging him with my words instead of slicing and dicing him with my words. And the interesting result, besides him just feeling so much better about himself, he started to treat me even nicer than he had before. He was more gentle and loving and tender and compassionate with me. And I think it all was based on the fact that I was building him up. And when a man feels built up, he's more secure in himself. And from that place of security, he then feels much more able to give love and grace and compassion to others. Try it for yourself. Oh, there's such power in encouraging words. This reminds me of the key Bible verse in 1 Thessalonians 5:11. Very short little verse. It says this, therefore encourage one another and build each other up. Write down that reference. 1 Thessalonians 5:11. We should do more of that. I should. Maybe you too.